car 115 is 72nd place overall. SP4, the BMW E90, car 325 is 96th overall. SP5 is the 1000 Racing and Events BMW M1. It's the car 84, it's in 103rd place overall. SP4T is the Volkswagen Golf. Federico Braga at the wheel of 85 in 115th place overall. And SP9LG is the Team Speedline BMW Z4, but that car's been out for quite a while.
Right, so that is the classes done and dusted. In fact, an update already because Sven Muller's managed to get by Maxi Goertz for second position. I mentioned he was chasing him down, got ahead just into Hohenrhein, and a new second place car is the 31 Fricadelli Porsche. That is this hour's Hyundai race update. The other incredible bit of drama at the first corner was Dries Vanthoor coming from a long, long way back to attempt an overtake on René Rast. The problem was the 91 GT tyres Volkswagen Golf was right in the middle of the road, also taking its rightful racing line. Dries Vanthoor had to dodge to the left. He found himself on the grass and he nearly ended up in the gravel trap at the end of the start-finish straight. Lost a lot of time as a result of that attempted overtake, which didn't quite work. The Audis were nose to tail over the start-finish line, but there is now 3.7 seconds separating them.
Yes, I think that was just a little bit of over-enthusiasm from Dries. It was one of those that you could kind of see happening, and then you thought, yeah, but he's not, oh, he is, oh dear. And you kind of saw the trap into which he was falling, and I don't think it was necessarily a trap that had been set for him in any way by René Rast, although it might have been. But as I say, it was a little bit of inexperience on Dries's part, and it did benefit the car, the Land Motorsport car, for René Rast. Just an update on the update, because Joe was saying regarding the number 50 Team Speedline Racing BMW, this is Z4 GT3, remember, blew its engine up very early on in the race. They spent a long time putting a new engine in, and they told us that they were going to do that. They did do it, and then the car went out and was crashed by Dirk Heldman at the beginning of the Dottinger Hoa. So rather than going out with the car in the garage and full of disappointment, they didn't actually get it to the end of the 24 hours. They've now got it in a skip somewhere at the end of the Dottinger Hoa. So the number 50 car has been now pretty much retired. And
is Dirk Hellman last seen running away with the crowd of mechanics, wielding spanners?
They were, well, I think they were all headed for the pub, actually. The other one, which was getting early votes in before we even announced that there was a Spirit of the Race award, but a car that was getting some votes in very early on was the GT Tyres VW Golf car number 89. That's got its new engine in, but had another problem with the car, although I think they may have got to the bottom of it once again.
Very dramatic incident at Adenauer Forest at the bottom of the foxhole. A car overturning and ending up just the wrong side of the Armco barrier. That's a huge accident, and I don't know yet whether another car was involved. Struggling to identify which car is on its roof on the grass bank, but intervention vehicles very quickly to the scene, as are marshals at the other side of the Armco barrier as well. But it's a rare sight to see a car actually leap over the barrier, but I think it's connected twice potentially with the barrier, and actually in mid-roll then caught the top of the Armco as well. So this happened a few moments ago. Dries Vanthoor about to end up there on the scene, and the accident's already happened. Yes, a section of Armco beveled in from the top, almost as if the rolling car has caught the Armco after it started to flip. It's gone basically straight on at the bottom of the climb out of the foxhole and on towards Adenauer Forest.
And please bear with us, we're struggling to identify the car because it is on its roof.
Yeah.
And we can't see any distinguishing features. owner number. All we can see is the underside
I
of
think
the car.
Oh, Maxi Goetz in the wall, and this is live action. Maxi Goetz in the man filter. Mercedes running in third position on the road. Clangs the barrier next to Marshall post 152. So that is Hoa Act, the right-hander. This is nothing to do with the incident at Adenauer Forest. And I couldn't see another car that he was trying to get around. But the Mercedes that was running in third position and was really managing to stay with Sven Muller despite that overtake is potentially out of the race. And Maxi Goetz absolutely distraught with that mistake. Cannot believe it. And I think the body language from Maxi Goetz, he knows that that was an error on his part. Was it too much curb? It was too much curb on the right-hand side. He goes over the curb on the left and into the barrier. These are the fine, fine mistakes, Joe Bradley.
We said that. We've been seeing this all the time about this track. It does not allow you to make this. It's like a street track, effectively.
Yeah.
The barrier is so close to the side of the track. The curbs are high. You've got to know the intricacies of this place. What curbs you can hit, what curbs you've got to stay off. And Maxi Goetz is, I would put in the expert bracket around here. So when somebody like Maxi Goetz can make a mistake like that by just clipping the curb that put him onto the outside of the track, the Armco barrier literally, a metre, less than a metre from the curb side. And he contacts the barrier, the car is damaged. He sat there static, head in hands, literally holding his helmet with his hands.
The visor's come down now as well, and he just wants to crawl into the nearest tree-lined side of the road and just disappear for the next couple of hours of his life, because that's a horrendous moment. I mean, we've all been there in moments of not racing, clearly, but in times when you just think, that's so annoying.
Can I just wind the clock back
Exactly, just kicking himself in the car, and you just want to attempt that. You want to press the reset button on the simulator and attempt that corner again. He knows exactly what he's done. But the wall is right by the left-hand side, and he's now obviously chatting to marshals to try and get this car back in the race. But I think it's done quite a bit of damage. He would have continued on, could he have done? But that, I think the indicator. No, the belts are being tightened rather than loosened. So Maxi Goetz ready to be towed potentially. But Manfilter and HTP eager to know exactly what damage has been done, Paul.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if they're not going to be challenging for the podium, they need to get the car to the finish at this point. I think I can throw some light on the car at where was it, going into Adenauer Forest. It's the 173 TCR car, which I'm pretty sure was in second place in TCR. No, it was actually leading TCR after the Veloster fell back. So it was the TCR leader, number 173, Benedikt Gentgen, which had the off there at the sort of exit of the Fuchshole and the entrance to Adenauer Forest. And I know Joe was about to give us some information on that car, which was okay. So
it's back out.
It was leading the class, and it's now out. But I don't know that we're going to be able to get the 173 car, which is the one that is causing the yellow flag at the. Yes, it's more Adenauer Forest than the exit of the Foxhole, but it's in that area of the circuit. If you know your way around the Nurburgring,
very fast section. Car slightly unbalanced at maximum velocity as it starts rising into that rise.
The trouble is the Foxhole is so
fast, yeah.
That anything you're going to do if you get it slightly wrong coming out of there is going to be it's fast exit, even in a TCR car.
Absolutely, Paul. And you can see the damage he's done to the barrier, and then I'm just speculating now. He's then barrel rolled down the barrier and then flopped.
Yeah, it's only on the left-hand side of the track. I don't think he's done anything on the right-hand side. What's up with Maxi Goetz, Johnny?
Intervention vehicle attaching a tow rope. He is now trundling his way along, and Goetz timed us in 6th position at the very best. Has been overtaken by Rene Rast in the 29 Lant Audi, by Dries Vanthoor in the number 4 Phoenix Audi, and Gabriele Piana in the now 5th placed Mercedes from Black Falcon. But Goetz is going to tumble further and further down the order because Marcus Winkelhock is approaching rapidly. He's just 4 minutes further down the road, and this is going to be a long, long run back to the pits for the 48 Mercedes. Just a bit too hot over the curbs at Hohe-Acht, and the car jumping from one side of the track to the other, over the curb and into the barrier. I really feel for Maxi Goertz, because that's so tough.
And, you know, I mean, Maxi's not a novice. You know, he knows his way around. He's been racing for long enough, and, you know, he's had his success. He's a winner in ADAC Masters.
Yeah.
A series winner in ADAC Masters, as far as I remember. But that curb especially, I mean, they are substantial curbs. If you clip a curb, as you can on any normal racetrack, it'll be fine. But clip that one, and immediately you have, 20 metres, and you're in the wall.
Yeah. You're right.
That just shows how fast they're going, isn't it? That just shows how they're pushing. I'm not sure we've had a kind of a car. You mentioned this last night, Paul. There was you were talking about the weather being calm. This race hasn't been calm. This race has been an absolutely flat-out sprint since the start, and even now, with just coming up to 5 hours remaining, it's getting more intense. You can't lay back, you can't sit back, and that's what I thought of Dries van Toor there. He was pushing for that first turn, and then 2 minutes later, Maxi Goertz clips a curb, and Busch, he's out of contention.
Maxi was the 2012 ADAC GT champion. He was also Blancpain Sprint champion in 2014 with HTP Motorsport, and that was Maxi
Boot, wasn't it, in the Blancpain series?
He, along with Raffaele Marciello and I forget the third driver now, but had a very good result at the Bathurst 12 Hour at the start of the year with a podium, 3rd position. They were the pole-sitting car at Mount Panorama as well. So a rapid driver for HTP Motorsport, and a highly unusual, rare mistake. There's damage to the rear of the Mercedes, also to the rear diffuser with its teeth very deranged. The rear right corner has taken a pounding as a secondary incident, because he caught the barrier then on the right side of the track after the initial impact to the left, and what is left of that Manfielder Mercedes is now being moved by intervention vehicle number 10, and this just must be horrendous for Maxi Goertz to just be staring at the back of an SUV. Yeah,
there comes a point in a race like this, a 24-hour race especially, where when you're contending for a podium position for 20 or 19 hours of the race, yes, you want to get the car to the finish, but it depends on what's going on within the team. They may say, look, I know it's going to take us an hour to fix, but it's just not worth it. I just wonder if something broke on the car there, because he didn't seem to have any reason to take his eye off the curb, unless he was just concerned about the car that he was about to lap, and he was just trying to line up a slightly tighter line, and just got slightly ahead of where he really was.
I think from his reaction, he believes it was a mistake rather than something going on the car. But HTP may be able to educate him on that later on. They might be able to see something on the telemetry that doesn't look quite right. It was the Iron Force by Ring Police Porsche up ahead, I think, the number 8 car that he was trying to line up as an overtake. Lucas Luhr at the wheel of that number 8 machine. And HTP, although they may be able to get that car back into the race, resigned to the fact that a good result has now gone.
Yeah, the gods of motor racing have some funny scripts that they put out there, and you've got a feel for everybody from HTP there. We had Chris Goodwin up here, didn't we? He was talking about his first ever Nurburgring 24 hours when they were leading their class, and an hour to go, something happened, something broke, and you have to go home with nothing when you thought you were going to get something to take home. And
you talk about the gods of motor racing. Fev Racing have been helping the guys with the Opel Manta all night to repair the Manta car and to get it back in the race. That's not what should happen to their Seat that was leading the class, and a huge incident ripped one of the wheels off. The car's ended up the wrong side of the barrier, and obviously we are now concerned for its driver, who is just a young man,
Johnny.
Benedikt Gentgen, 21 years old, from Germany.